The flame-grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour. With fries and a drink. Only on the app.
Let's go!
I think we're going to have a lively couple of hours on the Go Radio Football Show because we've got plenty to pack into it. In the next, how many minutes is that? 120 minutes. We've got the World Cup draw from Washington. It's all going to unfold. It's just getting underway in the American capital at the moment. And, well, it's down for 90 minutes, Peter Grant, but I think it might run longer than that, judging by some of these events that we've seen in the past.
As long as it's not Rod Stewart that's doing it, I think it'll be all right.
I think it's Robbie Williams. So, and yeah, there's a fair old cast list in terms of the build-up. And eventually, Barry Ferguson, we will get round to finding out who Scotland are paired with. Are you excited?
Yes, looking forward to it. It's been a long time, Rob, since we've been there. 28 years. So yeah, I'm excited to see who we get. There's one that sticks out for me. I would love for us to get in the draw, and that would be Argentina.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to seeing who we get, because we thoroughly deserve to be there, because the last game was up there with one of the best games I've seen.
Yeah,
against Denmark.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were last in a World Cup draw, that was leading up to 98 in France, of course, this occasion, this event lasted about half an hour. It's going to be considerably longer. It's quite a bit more complicated than it has been. We're just seeing the names of all the countries up on screen at the moment, and of course some countries have still to qualify because we've still got the playoff phase to go through. And there is one possibility. Obviously we played the opening game at World Cup 98, and there is a scenario here, Peter, in which we could play Mexico, because Mexico play the opening game of the tournament in the Azteca Stadium, and that could be Scotland.
It would be fantastic, and some of the boys have already played there, because when Big Ali got taken over, we went to Mexico and we played in the Azteca Stadium. Brilliant stadium, fantastic atmosphere. Even in that game, it was a full house, because Mexico were going to the World Cup just after we played them and all that. They'd already qualified, so it was one of these ones, a goodbye to them, as if all the very best. And so the fan base there is obviously, they're fanatical about their football. And listen, I'm really looking forward to a draw, because getting someone like a Mexico, Barry's talked about Argentina, France, I love their games. I just hope we do it better than we did against Germany. When we got Germany, I was really excited about that. I thought it was one of these ones, but we let ourselves down so badly with the way I thought we were out there not to be beat, and we ended up getting tanked, obviously 4 or 5. But you're saying to yourself, go there, have a go at it, because you've got players that can score goals. And the first games are so important, no matter who you get in a tournament. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to be brave in them. And I'm hoping that we do get one of the big ones, but I hope that's maybe the third game.
Yeah, exactly. It was Mexico and Peru, wasn't it? You played
yes,
on
that
yes. trip to South and Central America, when yourself and Alec McLeish were in charge of Scotland. Stevie Clarke will be in the vicinity at the moment. And of course, in the next couple of hours, we will have for you who are in Scotland's group and how the fixtures are going to look. I think all the finer details about kick-off time and stuff might be tomorrow, but we'll certainly know on the course of the Go Radio Football Show who Scotland will be playing in America, Canada and Central America in the summer. And I say a busy show, Barry, because obviously we're looking ahead to the games at the weekend, the Premiership games coming up. And we'll also be hearing from Danny Röhl and from Wilfried Nancy. There is a bit of a debate about the pronunciation of his surname, but meantime, until otherwise advised, I think it is going to be Nancy, as in the French football team, Nancy. And Celtic, of course, have revived a little bit under Martin O'Neill But it is Noel Seat in charge for the first time, and what a start he's got to his Celtic managerial career, hasn't he? He's got the joint leaders' hearts at the weekend, and of course next weekend it's the League Cup final.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult start. Look, where Celtic were, they were really struggling before Martin O'Neill came in, Rob, and I thought Martin O'Neill steadied the ship. He showed all his experience he's got, and he done a fine job. But Celtic have decided to appoint a new manager, and as you mentioned there, it's a tough start. League leaders coming to Celtic Park, and then as you mentioned, you've got the cup final the following weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in his first game, what formation, what lineup he picks. So I'm sure the Celtic fans will be looking forward to Sunday to see how it pans out.
Peter, let's hear from him. It was his first media conference, first pre-match media conference today, talking about the upcoming game, of course, against Hearts, which is a pretty exciting prospect, but also what is to come for him. How is he going to change the squad? How is he going to change the style of play? What's the January transfer window going to bring? Here he is, Wilfried Nancy, talking about the squad being improved.
Yeah, no, listen, in each organisation, the idea is to improve. And the idea, we have windows coming. So first of all, I'm going to have to assess the team and to know them a little bit better. I know them as a player because I watch many games. Now this is about knowing them as a person. And after that, we'll see what is the best for the team. And I like to take my time. I know that I don't have a lot of time. But the idea is to be coherent regarding the profile that we need to make the step regarding that.
Well, we're going to change the pronunciation of his surname already because he's told us it's Wilfried Nancy. So there we go.
Just call him Wilfried then.
Wilf to his pals.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. What do you? I mean, we'll hear in the course of the show, Peter, what he's had to say today. We've got a lot to find out about him. I'm not sure how much you know about him in terms of his backstory. One of my questions, though, immediately is, does he stick or twist at the moment? Does he keep things the way they are? How long will it take him to put his imprint on the team?
Well, it'll be interesting because I'll go for the team the other evening there. I thought the first half they done well. I thought the second half they were very ordinary, to say the least. Luke McCown's been playing wide right. You've got Balakwisha and you've also got Tenekti, two wingers on the bench. Luke's a central midfield player, and all of a sudden he's playing out there, and he's done well in the games. You've got Negrin that's played out there. So I'm wondering if he's going to come in and change it right away, or will he sit and stick and say, right, okay, I'll go with this team. I'll watch it over the next couple of weeks, in games, obviously, see how the team watch the training, and then he'll make his mind up. Managers know, Barry's been there, I've been there myself. You know very quickly the sort of players that suit you and what you want to do. And you'll notice that in training, Rob, because it becomes a consistent. And I think that's what you look at. And obviously he's been looking at Celtic. He's had a lot of videotapes, I'm sure, of the games recently. There is absolutely no doubt of that. He'll be watching from afar, and he knows what he's got to do here. For me, I wouldn't change too much. What you've got to do at Celtic is, and as you have to do at Rangers, you have to win. While you're winning, then you're tinkering, you're moving things about, your senior players. Hatate's came at the fore, he's been excellent recently, so I think he's obviously starting there with McGregor. I think Engels has done well, so I'd say they three are the only guarantees at this moment in time. If you're talking about from middle to front, the wide players, I still think there's a big area there to be sorted. And Maeda, I don't see him as a number 9. I know he's scored a few goals in the last few weeks, and I've always said that I don't see him as a number 9, but they've only got young Johnny Kenny after. So a lot of his choices are not going to be available for him, but it's the wide areas I'm going to be interested at, how he's going to do it, what way he's going to attack. People say he played 3-4-3. I understand that, but you've sometimes got to settle and say, right, okay, have I got the players for that, and then move for there. And if that's what he wants to do, fair play to you, but I only think you can do that if you feel you've got the players to do that. And even seeing that in training, I'm sure he will make decisions very quickly.
Yeah, I think you run the risk changing it straight away. I think you've got to bed yourself in. You've got to, obviously, he's watched loads of videos on them, I guess, but I think you need to see it with the eye. I don't think he'll change much against Hearts. I think you've got to go with the same formation. Then in time you can obviously adapt and change the formation that you like to play. As Granty mentioned there, I think it's a 3-4-3 he likes to go with. I think if you go with that straight away after only 2 training sessions, because he wouldn't have trained on a Thursday with the game on the Wednesday night. So he's had today, he'll have tomorrow, and then he'll have a game. I think he'd be crazy to change.
The one thing I've said about him, Rob, is that my son does a bit of work in America, obviously, and he deals with Columbus Crew, the team he's at, and everybody loves him. So he's very hard. He's very good on his work. He works really, really hard. But he's a people's person as well, you know, and I think that's what people will like about him. Players will find that with him. And they were very, very disappointed for him that he was leaving, obviously. So he's very much appreciated there. And I know, obviously, there's the famous picture of him and Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi telling him how impressed he was with the way his footballing philosophy and the way his team played. But Glasgow is different. We've seen many managers coming here and they've been chopped up in no time. I'm not sure that'll be the same with this guy because he's got that little bit of experience, even though it's the MLS. But Glasgow is different. You don't get a lot of time. The time you get is you've got to be winning while you're changing. And that's the biggest thing I would say to him. The biggest bit of advice. While you're changing, whatever you want to do, make sure you keep winning while you're trying to do that. And I thought Martin done that fantastically well. You'll know some of the performances weren't great, but he got victories out of them apart from Midtjylland. He'd done that fantastically well.
I wonder if there was much deliberation among the decision makers at Celtic, Barry, about the timing of the change here, the timing of moving from the interim management team to the new man coming in. I mean, it had dragged on for a while. We've known for quite a long time that it was going to be Wilfried Nancy. The contract negotiations went on for a while. Could they have held off for a couple of weeks, got through the next... The game I'm thinking of particularly is the League Cup final. And I'm wondering from your point of view, from a Rangers point of view, whether you're pretty happy that the change is coming right now. Could that introduce a little bit of indecision for Celtic?
Yeah, well, it's all about opinions. I thought they would have waited until after the cup finals. You mentioned they've got Hearts, which is a massive game on Sunday. I forgot they've got Roma.
Yeah, of course.
At Celtic Park on Thursday night.
Not a bad start for them, is it?
No, and then you've got the cup final against St Mirren. That'll not be easy. I know St Mirren have not been great over the last month or so, but yeah, I thought we all knew that Wilfried Nancy was going to be the man. I thought they would have waited to after the cup final. But listen, they've made their choice. It's important now that the new manager comes in and he gets off to a good start. But it's a tough 7 days ahead for Celtic.
So we're going to be talking about Celtic in the show. Wilfried Nancy's first pre-match media conference, that big game at the weekend against Hearts in terms of the Premiership fixtures over the weekend. It all maps out like this. Tomorrow, Dundee Aberdeen, Hibs against Falkirk, Motherwell play Livingston, St Mirren Dundee United. Then the 8 o'clock game tomorrow night is Kilmarnock against Rangers, and it's Sunday for that match in the East End of Glasgow, Celtic against Hearts. So we'll be talking about those games as the show goes on. We'll get predictions from Peter and from Barry as well, and we're going to be speaking about Danny Röhl. He's had his pre-match media conference as well. It's been such a busy week in terms of Premiership football. No great time to recover or to reset, and Rangers will feel they have to reset because they needed a late equaliser at Tannadice to get a point out of that game against Dundee United during the week. And Danny Röhl was asked today about unhappy fans.
Yeah, the demanding is always high. We want to win this game, and then I think there was a mix. I felt there was a bit of mix between they were happy to take the point, but also they were disappointed not to win this game. And yeah, I took this like this. Was for me the same. I was also happy to take the point, but was unhappy that we couldn't win this game.
The difference, of course, between Nancy and Röhl is that the Rangers fans have had a little bit of time. I mean, it's still very early days for him, but he's packed in a fair few fixtures in the short time he's been in charge, and people already, Barry, will be making their mind up about him.
Yeah, and I'm afraid that's just the way it is at Rangers. Look, it's been a difficult last 5 or 6 days. Look, the result and the performance against Falkirk was well below the standards. Wednesday night, I thought from 18-yard box to 18-yard box, Rangers were good, but the problem is you have to be ruthless in both boxes, Rob.
Yeah,
they created a number of chances, just didn't take their chances, and then defensively, very slack. The first goal, defenders got to defend better, got to give them a nudge and then back off them, and give yourself a yard or two. And then the second Dundee United goal, I'm sure that's the one that will frustrate them the most. The 3 opportunities to deal with it, they didn't, and Dundee United punished them. And they kept probing. They went to the end, and he says he was a lot more happier with the attitude and the running of the Rangers team, and that there was a big difference, there's no doubt, but that should be a given. Shouldn't need to ask the players to do that. Just the quality at times has to be better, and as I said, both boxes is the thing I think that will frustrate the Rangers manager at this moment in time.
What about decisions in that game? There's been a lot of talk about refereeing decisions, VAR involvement. What did you think in the Dundee United Rangers game?
In terms of the Rangers penalty?
Yeah.
I think it is a penalty. I do. Aarons comes on the blind side of the Dundee United defender. He throws his boot. Aarons puts his boot. There is a slight connection. It's a penalty for me.
And the handball, no penalty. Fernandez.
I was worried when I seen it because it showed a number of replays, and I'm thinking to myself, I have seen them given.
Yeah, it's that grey area.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Rob, you took the words out of my mouth. It's a grey area because I've seen them given and I've seen them not given.
That's a problem you have, because there is a grey area. There shouldn't be a grey area. It's a penalty or it's not a penalty. And I understand some of it. If they say that it's out from his hand, I thought it had been a soft penalty. I can see it, and because he's not moved his hands out from his body. I don't know where he's got to put them then. So the ball's just bounced up. His hands are down by. So it's different if his hands are out wide. Then I'd be looking more at a penalty. I thought the referee got that right, to be fair. I wasn't sure about the Aarons one, but I disagree with Barry that a little bit. I thought that was soft. But I thought the penalty kick for the handball definitely wasn't. But I thought the Aarons ones was softer. I know what people are saying, but I didn't see the connection as in the way you're supposed to see it, in the way you can even see the boys pulled out, all these things. And I'm thinking, okay, you've got to make a decision here. And I thought they got it wrong. That was just my opinion. I'd be claiming for it if I was a Rangers supporter or a Rangers player for sure, 100%. But when I looked at it, and I thought it was a stonewaller right away, but then when I watched it back, I was, it didn't look as
What's the Dundee United players' reaction?
Well, that's what I was. That's what I thought.
I
as well.
Straight away, because I always do that. Because I thought straight away, that's 100% penalty. And then there's just a slight nick. But then the Dundee United player doesn't go to the referee and say, "Listen, I never touched him." He's actually accepting it on the ground. So that tells me a story, and that's the reason why I think it's a penalty.
Did you see the Kilmarnock one, the Marley Watkins one against Dundee United last weekend, where he went with his head? And it was Kereshtes of Dundee United who was trying to head it away, didn't get the ball, but made a slight contact with Marley Watkins. Is that the head equivalent of Will Ferry's boot?
Well, you look at it the other night there when Dyson made his goal. It's not similar, if you understand what I'm saying. When the ball, Dyson heads it, and the big centre half comes through and heads Dyson. There's nothing given. It's a clash of heads, and I think that was a really, really soft penalty kick to give. When he went to head of the ball, I don't know what he's supposed to do. It's not as if he... And it wasn't even as if it was brutal. It's not as if you're going in there and you're running and you're rushing and you're attacking him like a bull. It was just an actual bounce and going for the ball. I thought it was really, really soft, to say the least. And I thought the referee got it correct in midweek with Dyson Maeda, because they looked at VAR and that as well. Dyson comes out with the big black eye, but the boys genuinely went for the ball, and so is Dyson Maeda. Unfortunately, they've clashed heads. And you can't do certain things, Rob. There's certain things you can't do. Barry will tell you, it's like doing a slide tackle. Where are you supposed to stop? It's impossible to stop sometimes. Yeah. And if a player's coming the other way, you just run into each other. And there is no way you can put the brakes on once you've made that. And I think things look a lot worse than they actually are. And I think we're getting a lot of the decisions like that now. I thought a lot of the decisions in midweek, they were very questionable.
What did you think about those decisions? What do you think about Wilfried Nancy's first pre-match media conference as Celtic's new football manager, which was earlier today? What about Danny Röhl? How is he coping? How is he doing so far with Rangers? How many changes to that squad does he need to make, if he can, in the upcoming January transfer window? And who will Scotland draw in the World Cup finals in the summer? We will know within the next hour or so.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour, with fries and a drink. Only on the app. Let's go!
We'll get round to the draw eventually. It's the World Cup draw at the Kennedy Centre in Washington D.C. Who will Stevie Clarke and co be grouped with next summer? We might not know anytime soon because Robbie Williams and is it Nicole Scherzinger or something like that, Barry?
Yes, sure is.
She's on stage. They're both on stage at the moment. The comedian Kevin Hart is up there as well. It's a pretty star-studded cast going into it. And what FIFA tend to do on these occasions is not necessarily keep it brief. So there'll be plenty of preamble before we get down to business, and you'll miss nothing at all of that World Cup draw by sticking with us right here. Producer James has got the subtitles on the screen in the studio, so I think he can probably retire at this stage. Job done, James. And yeah, we have those subtitles. All we need is subtitles for each other now, so that we
can understand you now, Rob.
Well, exactly. Yes, I know. Watch my lips, Peter. It will all become very clear in the next little while. Joint leaders, of course, in the Premiership in Scotland. We'll just be darting back and forth between Washington, which sounds pretty good, to be perfectly honest. Also got a competition, your chance to win 250 quid. That's coming up in about 15 or 20 minutes' time. But we are, as ever on a Friday, looking ahead to the football weekend, particularly the Premiership football weekend. And of course, it's all got pretty exciting at the top, Peter, with Celtic. It was not a bad leaving present from Martin O'Neill, was it, to leave Wilfried Nancy in joint top spot with Hearts. Are Hearts on the slide at the moment? What do you reckon?
No, I think what Celtic have done, Celtic have dug in and got results without really playing at the top of their game, Rob, and that's what good teams do. I think they've got some players have started to perform, not all of them. I was saying earlier, a couple of weeks back, I thought most of them round about a 6. Now all of a sudden you've got a couple of them going up above that now, and I think when you see them, the Haiti I think has been excellent the last few weeks. And you look at Callum McGregor against St Mirren, I needed a captain's performance in that respect to get that goal. And they're the wee things you need to win. And they managed to win a game when they played really poorly. The other evening there I got mentioned against Dundee, I thought the first half they'd done more than enough, could have been more in front. Dundee done very well the second half. You've got to give them credit, and I thought Celtic were off the boil the second half, you know, and it was sort of nip and tuck, and you end up panicking a little bit with set plays late in the game and whatever. So I don't think there's much in it. I don't think Celtic are playing their best. They've missed a few players. I look at Hearts. The question always was going to be for Hearts, have they got players that's been over the course before when the pressure comes? I've heard pals that's been at games when teams have been playing Hearts, and they can feel their supporters are getting anxious, because when teams they think they should be beaten now, when they're not doing that, the fans are getting anxious. Can their players handle that? Celtic have proven they were 8 points behind, now they're equal. They weren't playing that particularly well, but it proved to me that they players could handle it. They've been over the course before. They've not been playing particularly well, but they've managed to win. Hearts have not managed to do it, and I think that's the difference sometimes between champions. It's the same with Rangers. Rangers were right back in, then all of a sudden they have a few draws when you least expect, and that is the difference when it comes to it. And that's always, when it comes down to it at the end, Rob, who can win the most games when they're not playing at their best, and at this moment in time that's Celtic.
Would you expect, Barry, Celtic are behind on goal difference at the moment, 3 worse than Hearts. Would you expect over the course of the weekend, Sunday in particular, Celtic to retake top spot in the Premiership, and that will be that for the season?
I expect Celtic to win the game. I do.
But part 2 of my question.
Well, I'll just leave that one out for now. But I expect, if you're asking me this early on, I do expect Celtic to win the game. Do I think Hearts are going to dramatically drop off? No, I don't. I just think they're missing some big players. Beningame in the middle of the pitch is a big player for them. Craig Halkett, who's a real leader at the back. I just think when they miss important players, Hearts may struggle a wee bit. I know they'll go and strengthen in January, But I still believe Hearts will be there or thereabouts. Yep, they've had a bit of a drop off the last 5 games. They've only won 1, they've lost 1, and they've drew 3. But I don't think Derek will start to panic. I still think they've had a really good start to the season. Yep, the last few weeks have not been what he would want, but I still think they'll be, as I said, thereabouts.
Would you think, Baz? I mean, it's a question you look at for Hearts. I think it's the games. Celtic Rangers is not really their problems, is it? I think they can handle their games. You know, they've got the players that can handle their games, and if they get something from it, great. The other games have struggled with. The teams are expected to beat, as I say, because of the supporters. I think it'll be a really difficult game for Celtic at the weekend. I think set play wise, they've got very good delivery. They put the ball in your box and ask a lot of questions. And if I say there's a weakness to Celtic, I think that's their weakness. I don't think the defender box ever so well, apart from Liam Scales. He's the only one that seems to get on the head on the ball at most times. And if he doesn't do it, Celtic never really get the first clearance. And as I say, they've given a lot of silly free kicks away. And if you do that against Hearts, you're asking for a problem, because, as I say, they've got fantastic delivery. And it's simple things like that that can make the difference. And that's why I think it'll be a really, really difficult game at the weekend.
I mean, you asked me, Rob, I do think Celtic will win the game on Sunday, but don't be surprised if Hearts go and win the game.
No.
It's been that sort of season. Yep, they've dropped off. Celtic have been really strong since Martin O'Neill took over interim charge of the team.
And we were speaking before we came on here about the lack of fear factor at Ibrox and at Celtic Park.
I don't think teams fear either going to Celtic Park. I spoke about it off air to you. I think now teams are coming and enjoying themselves at Ibrox and Celtic.
Because that distressed you in the Falkirk game, didn't it, at Ibrox?
Yeah, it did. It did, and that's a worry, because you've got to frighten the life out of teams when they come. I mean, you're playing in front of 50,000 fans. It looked to me of Rangers were the team that were more frightened. Falkirk looked comfortable at times, and that's certainly something I think it will be frustrating the manager or worrying the manager at this moment in time. And I think it's the same for Celtic. I think teams will go, and I wouldn't say they'll be confident of winning, but they feel they'll have a better chance than they did in previous seasons.
Well, the boy Hay, was it Hay, come on for Dundee?
Ashley Hay, yeah.
He came on and went like that and said, the defender's on toast.
Some people need to calm down a wee bit.
Because he's quick, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, I'd be waiting for that the next time. But they're the small things that can lose you. You know, Dundee, then tomorrow I've got a big game, let's see how you perform tomorrow. And that's the difference. Some players will make a comment, won't
they? It's a good point, Granty, because when I see things like that after, keep a sock in it, just relax a wee bit. Look, I thought Falkirk was really good. Falkirk have had a brilliant start to the season. I mean, the job that John MacLean's done there, and the squad that he's got, quite a number of them have come through from League One. I like the way they come across. I like the way John MacLean come across. I like some of the players' interviews where they're respectful. Look, good point. We're happy. We've done well. Can we do better? Yes, we can. And off you pop. I like that. But then you're hearing what Granty's just mentioned there. Why come out with things like that? Because do you know what? See, if that's me, I'm thinking, right, when did we play Dundee next?
You're just giving someone away at that point, aren't you? You're firing up the opposition.
Just have a bit of respect and go on with it. Look, you've done well. You've caused a few problems. Just go on with it.
And because it's so tight, Rob, at the top, that's what you're waiting on. You're waiting on a Hearts player coming out and saying something, or a manager.
I don't think Zerica will allow that.
Exactly. Yeah. You're waiting on all that sort of stuff, you know, because
to use against them.
They're the wee things.
Yeah.
It can be sometimes a difference, you know what I mean? Barry's talking about it's too easy to play against Rangers. You know, I would have hated it any time in my career. It's too easy to play against Celtic. You know what I mean? Because the one thing you were always told, if you're not playing well, make sure your opponent's having an absolute stinker. You know, and that's why I hate when say, oh, we're working hard, they run very hard. Listen, that's a gimme. That's at least you need to give.
See what we're talking about, the Dundee player that Granty had mentioned there. See, even Hearts have been flying high, and yep, they're going through a sticky patch. See, when I've watched Derek doing interviews and I've watched these players coming out and doing interviews, never at one stage did I ever feel they're getting carried away.
No.
So that tells me they're in control. Listen, we're doing well, but we need to continue working. Because they know at some stage, like every team it happens to, you go through a wee sticky patch during the season. And this is Hearts' sticky patch. But I go back to it, I just don't see the reason why people need to come out and say things like that.
In the old days, they used to pin up a newspaper cutting in the dressing room, didn't they? But
everybody, there was
enough newspapers around anymore.
Somebody's job was to listen,
Yeah.
or to see something that was written. That was somebody's job.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you see something for that. And that could be the fine line, because you know what it's like. Listen, I'm looking at it now. Celtic are not playing at their best, Rangers are not playing at their best. So they're the two you expect to be up the top of the league. There's no doubt to get that. That's where you expect them to be. Not the two of them are not playing at their best. Nobody's going to have a better chance to try and get results against them.
Yeah.
Nobody. You know, and it's up to the other teams, can they go and grab it? Celtic can go to St Mirren and win, playing as poorly as they did, and win 1-0.
Yeah.
And they dig a result out. That's what you have to do. And that's why you'll end up becoming champions again, whether it's Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, whatever. That's why you end up doing that.
Right, we've got a choice here. Do we turn up the telly and listen to what Donald Trump is saying prior to the World Cup draw in Washington, or do we go onto the phone lines and speak to Celtic fan Kevin?
Kevin,
I think it's a pretty, Kevin, it's a pretty unanimous vote.
It's a fair spray tan Donald's had.
It is, and he's topped it up, hasn't he?
Definitely.
Would you ever go for that all over?
No, I wouldn't do what Granty does now.
It's that Scottish background he's got, you can see.
You wouldn't do it, he doesn't in any shape or form. Let's talk. It's 0808 17 17 700. We've got Kevin on the line. Hi, Kev.
How you doing, boys?
Hi, Kevin.
All good, thank you. You won the vote against Donald Trump there. That was...
thanks for the vote of confidence there, boys. I think I've got enough credit to back in Donald Trump.
Kev, what would you like to say?
Well, first of all, obviously, it's a huge weekend, not just for Celtic, but for Scotland. Obviously, I'm itching for this draw. I can't wait to see who we get, but obviously, moving into Sunday, I'm really excited to see the new manager in the dugout and see what he can... See what subtle changes, if any, he makes to the team.
Yeah.
It's obviously a huge game, but just I'm really excited. But I predicted during the week that the Sunday tea time and Sunday Celtic will be top of the league outright, and hopefully that's the case. Fingers crossed. And in terms of the World Cup draw, I've been listening to people talk about their dream draw. I don't know if they've been reading the pots right or no, but everybody seems to be going for these glamour ties. I'm wanting Canada, Iran, Cape Verde. There you go, easy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. I would settle for that as well.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I've heard a lot of people saying Iran. I've watched them a few times.
All right, okay.
Oh, too big, too strong, too quick. I don't want to be drawing them. Right. Let me tell you, they could be a surprise. And I know they thought they were already through, and they made a boo-boo in the last game they had. They're a big side, and I'd be careful of that one. I know a lot of people, all my pals are saying Iran. I'm thinking, I'm not so sure on that.
So you would rather go for easy to go further in the tournament, Kevin? Yep.
I would rather to try and use the best possible chance. I'm not saying that Canada's going to be easy, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I would accept even something like maybe something like a Switzerland or a Japan or something like that, or Korea. And thought too, I think Scotland, I think they've got a decent chance, by the way. I know that we don't want to get carried away, Barry, you know what I mean? And I know we've been through this rigmarole with Scotland God knows how many times, where you think, we're sitting pretty and then we end up with egg in your face. But I mean, when you look at the pots, obviously pot one's a bit of a nightmare, right? But if you get one of the host nations, it's actually not too bad.
Mm-hmm. It's the pot Scotland's in. I mean, I look at Scotland's pot, all the groups it's in. I'm glad Scotland's in pot 3 with all them, because there's a lot of them in there I wouldn't want.
Yeah,
in pot 3.
Exactly.
You know, so I think we've done quite well.
There was one that you would take all day in pot 3, Qatar.
We've got a big pal who's a doctor there. They're rubbish.
Kevin, I'm going to take your attention away from the World Cup for a sec and back to domestic football. And Wilfried Nancy, I'm going to ask what your instant sort of quick impression is of him. But let's just hear a little bit from his media conference today when he was asked about what attracted him to the Celtic job.
It's a club for all, and for me this is important. It's open for all. The story behind that also, regarding where I come from, and also the style of play. The style of play that I have. I'm not saying that this is the best way to I am the best manager. No, for me, I have this style of play because this is a way of life, regarding my life and regarding the way I was as a player. So I believe that by playing this way, we maximize our chance to win games. So that's why the fit with Celtic is obvious, because they like to play this kind of football. And after that, we need to adjust certain things to fit and to move forward.
I think it's difficult to know, isn't it, what we're going to get from Wilfried Nancy. We're very, very early. Do you think, I mean, what we've been speaking about early on was how much will he change the team over the next couple of games, do you think? Or will he stick with what Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney have been doing?
I don't think he can come in and make too many changes. Peter's obviously been a coach and manager, so is Barry. I don't know if you agree, but I think when you come into a club, never mind mid-season, but in the middle of the week, and you've got a huge game like Hearts, I think it would be quite a wee bit silly to change too much, like change formations and all that. I think you could maybe make subtle changes to the tactics. Certainly, maybe see if you can get the confidence up in certain players and make changes in the starting lineup. But I don't think the formation of that should change just yet. I think that should maybe be drip fed in. I'm not sure what the boys think about that.
Peter?
No, I agree with Kevin in that respect, because, listen, watching them in video and watching them close up with your own eyes on a training pitch, and you see the matches and you'll take certain players, and managers know right away. Somebody can handle the ball well, play in a position. You maybe put a game in sort of a shadow game, playing against each other, just to see how people are going to do. The question for me is the wide areas still, because Yang's come in, and to be fair, Yang's best position's wide left. I'd say Tenecte's position, wide left. I'd say I'm here in Balikwisha, that's where he wants to play, wide left. You've got Jota, but we've no wide right. And that is a problem. So you've got Luke McCown out there, and he's not let himself down. But you're saying that's not a natural winger. So will a manager look at that right and say, no, I want a natural winger out there? And they're the sort of small things you've done. Martin came in his first game, I think it was Falkirk, and he put Nigrin closer to Johnny Kenny. Yeah. It was like a partnership near enough. And he's done similar in the last few games with Hatate. He's given them that more freedom. And Hatate's been so much better. He's been excellent actually. But he's played Engel slightly different. He's played him more alongside Callum McGregor. So Martin's done that change. And he'd done that just going in. And that was slight changes. So you maybe find Wilfried Nancy maybe get and do the same thing. Maybe say, right, I want a winger in there, a natural winger. I want a right foot out there. I don't know. And that's the thing I'm really looking forward to, because it's a big game. He'll be looking at Hearts. Hearts can change from 3 to obviously a back 3 to a back 4. So he knows that. And he'll also know, as I spoke about earlier on, Hearts are very good at set plays. And that's something Celtic are not good at. And I don't think he can change that at this moment in time. I don't think he's got enough time to change that, or the personnel.
Kevin, if Celtic win against Hearts on Sunday, and I think you've already said you think they will come out on top in the game, is that it for the title? Will Celtic not look back from that point? They've had a battle to get to the top. Once they're there, if they get there on Sunday, is that it as far as you're concerned?
No, I think they listen. It's a hard one. I'm trying not to sound arrogant or get ahead of myself, but listen, Rangers have been terrible this season. Celtic haven't been great either. Hearts have been flying, but I think if Celtic go and have a good January and Rangers go and have a good January, we'll go right into the last 4 or 5 games of the season. I think whoever has a poorer January, what am I trying to say? I think Celtic, if they did a good January, I think we should win the league. I think Rangers need a great January to have a chance. If Rangers have a poor January, they've got no chance. I hope I've not overcomplicated that there, but it all depends in January.
Yeah. Thanks for your call, Kev.
Cheers, Kevin.
Thanks.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour. With fries and a drink. Only on the app.
Let's go!
Yeah, we've teamed up with Seneca Medical, the hair transplant specialist, to give you the chance to win £250 in cash. And Celtic fan Gary from Glasgow South Side is with us tonight to get involved in the competition and hopefully, Gary, win that 250 quid. What do you reckon?
Hope so, Rob, hope so. But nervous about it. But
nah.
I like to think of myself as a quiz
It might not be too testing for a Celtic fan, but we shall see. And we'll get a chat with you afterwards as well about all things Celtic. We'll get your thoughts about Wilfried Nancy. But let's get to the competition action. And what we're playing, of course, is famous football transfers. And all you need to do is identify this player that I'm talking about from the transfers he was involved in the course of his football career. Peter and Barry, no shouting out. I'm not taking buzzers from you or anything. In the unlikely event that either of you can actually get it right, of course. But here you go, Gary. So this player was at Högeborg, Helsingborg, Feyenoord, Celtic, Barcelona, Helsingborg again, Manchester United, and funnily enough, back to Helsingborg for one more time. Can you identify him?
Yeah, it's the King of Kings, Henrik Larsson.
I didn't think it was going to be a big challenge to you. You have just won.
To be honest with you, it's one of the
Barry got it wrong.
One of the easiest questions I've ever heard.
Did you definitely get that right, Barry?
No, I wasn't listening.
No,
was
okay. It was Henrico.
He was no bad, was he? He was all right. No, he was some player.
Are you old enough, Gary, to have seen anything of Henrik?
Yeah, pretty much. He's near enough his full career to be, unfortunately, Rob. Not that young.
Right. Yeah, he was something special. So £250 and just a few weeks before Christmas. Not a bad little outcome, Gary.
Yeah, amazing, guys.
Well done, guys.
We've been talking about Celtic. We've been talking about that big match on Sunday, Gary. Talking about Wilfried Nancy having his first media conference today, getting his thoughts across. And also with Kevin, Celtic fan Kevin, on about 10 minutes ago as well. And he was talking about January being crucial. Do you think this title-winning season could be sorted in January, depending on what Celtic do, what Rangers do, and of course what Hearts do?
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. I think we're down to the bare bones when you look at our defence, when you look at up front as well. I think this is probably going to be Casper's last season as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of business having to be done. And obviously with the fans' protests against the board, I think the fact that the fans have protested pretty much every week, the message has probably got through to the board surely that they really need to dig deep and strengthen in January, because I don't think we should be within touching distance of Hearts, in all honesty. I know that, Hearts, as much as kind of the bubbles burst a wee bit, they've still not lost games, don't get me wrong. I think they've only drawn their last 4 games, so it's not like they're losing games. But I think much like last year with Aberdeen, I think, they probably had to see out to December or January before that kind of collapse hit. So the fact that it's so close now, Martin O'Neill's done a phenomenal job in rescuing our season. But I think, we've got to strengthen. I think we've got to strengthen up front. Whether Dyson goes, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I think, defensively, especially and up front, I think we really need to strengthen.
Gary, would you have kept on Martin O'Neill for another couple of weeks? Does the change of manager make you nervous at all about the League Cup final?
I think it makes everybody nervous because he's an unknown quantity in terms of I think with Ange Postecoglou, I think, there's fans that knew certain things about him from his stint at Australia and things like that. But with Wilfried Nancy, I listened to his interview last night, and it seemed to be quite inspiring at times. But again, there's always going to be a wee bit of nerves until you get that first couple of games out the road. It's just unfortunate that the 2 of the 3 games are massive games in terms of trying to go top of the league and trying to obviously win the first domestic silverware of the season.
Right, the World Cup draw is getting underway, believe it or not. After
do you know what? You didn't miss much with Donald Trump, trust me.
No, really. Were you listening to that bit? Yeah.
Yeah, well, bits of it. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they gave him a Peace Prize is just honestly, 45 minutes before a ball's drawn.
I know exactly.
Out the pot.
Yeah, what they're doing at the moment is putting the top seeds into groups. So where Scotland end up is a little bit further on. Peter, I just want to redirect that question towards you. How much will January, do you think, decide who are Scottish champions this season?
It's many people will tell you, Rob, it's the most difficult window because people don't want to sell the players that you'll want. The interesting thing...
Can that be a get-out clause sometimes when people say...
No, it really is difficult, because especially now, because if you remember, squads are run off 25, what they would name 25 players. So if there's anybody out 25 players, you've got a chance of getting. And I think, as Celtic and Rangers want to be outside, I don't care what club, whether it's in Britain or whatever, if they're outside the 25 that's in that group, the other teams, they shouldn't be coming to Celtic or Rangers anyway, because it means they're not good enough. That's me personally. The interesting thing, will he go to America and be able to take some of these boys in that he's worked with, similar to what Ange's done? I don't know if he's able to do that. Work permits and all this sort of things come into it. So simple things like that. There is absolutely no doubt the squad needs strengthening. It needed that in the summertime, even with all the players, without any sales. It needed that. People talk about Bayern Munich. I said even with that group that played against Bayern Munich, you still needed 4 or 5 players to come in and galvanise the group. It didn't happen. You still need that now. You still needed it after the European debacle. You still needed new players. And that's what you need now. There is no doubt. Even if everybody was fit, you would still need new players to come in there and galvanise the group. And that's why I believe the league's as close. Because I definitely thought Celtic had the best first and second team. I'm not sure that that's the case now when I look at the bench sometimes.
I'm going to give you something. I think it's going to be one of the busiest Januaries for a long time. Because I've got a feeling both Rangers, Celtic and Hearts are going to be busy.
Is that because there's so much doubt about it this time?
Yeah, I think all three squads, well, certainly Rangers and Celtic need to strengthen, and I think obviously with the Tony Bloom input into Hearts, I think how well they've done, I know they've tailed off a wee bit over the last number of weeks. I think he'll go again in January, Derek.
Do Rangers have money to spend?
Yes, I think Andrew Kavanagh will go back, Danny, with 3 or 4 players, which I think is needed. And I think the 3 or 4 players that Rangers would want to bring in have to go into the starting 11. It's pointless bringing in just players for the sake of bringing them in as numbers. I believe that the players that Rangers will bring in will be to go straight into the team.
It's a big enough squad in terms of quantity already. Do players have to go out, Barry, for those signings to be made?
No, I don't think it needs to be that way, but I do think they will try and obviously offload players who are going to be surplus, that are not going to be part of the plans going forward, because I think Danny's been in long enough to run the rule over the squad. He's had plenty of games.
Run the rule. I like that. Run the rule.
He's had plenty of games. He's had plenty of training sessions, and now I think he knows who he wants to go forward with.
I think he's no doubt in that. I think that's part of the reason that Thirlwell and Stewart are away. I think the manager's come back and said to him, these are not good enough. These boys are not good enough. And that's not been disrespectful, because I listened to his interviews and he's very respectful of every player. And that's difficult, because if you're not getting the performances, it's difficult. You're saying, oh, we're doing this, and fans are giving you criticism for it. But I can understand the reason why he's doing it. Because up until the window opens, this is the players he's got to go with. This is the ones he's got to go out there and do a job for him. And it is difficult, and sometimes you're kidding them on to try and give them a wee bit more confidence to get that performance. And I think that's what he's doing at this moment.
Yeah, he's playing it well.
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, if you come out and say, no, do you know what? The reason why he's not in the starting 11 is because I don't think he's the right player for me. Then you've lost him.
Yeah.
So you don't know about injuries. Look what's happened over the last couple of weeks. Suter, Cornelius, he needs Fernandez and Giga to come in and play. He's playing it clever. But I think deep down he knows, because he's been in now long enough to understand what he thinks is the right squad, what he believes in to go forward.
Gary, well done on winning the 250
well done,
grand.
Gary. Well done.
Cheers, guys.
Well done.
All the best, and we're back on the other side of the news at 6, and we will find out very soon who are in the group with Scotland at the World Cup next summer.
The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King, the most food-filling burger.
Is it though?
Is that?
Yes, a slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour. With fries and a drink. Only on the app.
Let's go! Yeah, let's go into the second hour of the show, and we will find out in the next little while who Scotland are facing at the World Cup next summer. Well, we might know in the next hour, Peter, but
I thought it was past now. I thought it was 20 something.
I know it's been some build up, hasn't it? Maybe predictably, we did mention it right at the top of the show that it might not be running to schedule, and the entertainment, if that is the word for it, Barry, continues prior to the draw.
We better wrap on Durante. Granny was enjoying it.
He was a top player.
Because I was with him this afternoon, so Granny was enjoying a wee bit of rap there. So
I think the connection is top midfielders of our time.
No, he was the best player. Hey. No, he was. People talk about Gascoigne. I said Durant was the best.
I'll be honest with you, I remember going when I was a young boy with my dad, and my brother Derek and Durante were the two that played in the middle of the pitch, and he was one of the players that just took off in the middle of the pitch, goal scoring midfielder.
Because he never played wide, Baz. He was so difficult to mark because he was like on the left wing, but it was inside. And you being a central midfield player, you're marking Derek, who was he was a top player, Derek, as well. I don't think he get the credit he deserved. But Durant used to run behind you, so your marking say Derek was playing, and Durant was running off the back of you, and it was impossible because if you left Derek too much time on the ball, he would hurt you. But the way Durante would run would make that space. But he was brilliant at running with the ball at his feet. You know, he had a great eye for a goal, but he was brilliant at running very, very quick feet with the ball.
Very direct.
Aye, absolutely.
As well.
You don't see it now. You don't see it as often now.
In my opinion, I agree with you, Grant. I think it's a dying breed. Midfield runners.
They had a great eye for a night out as well, didn't they, those two?
Yeah, listen, he enjoys a shared bit of 10. He certainly does.
Absolutely.
But he was my favourite growing up.
Fantastic players, Derek Ferguson and Durant, two of the Rangers greats. We've got Barry Ferguson, we've got Peter Grant and me, Rob MacLean, on the Go Radio Football Show into the second hour. And we just look every so often towards the screen and think maybe the draw's going to happen. All that's happened so far is we've had the top seeds put into their individual groups. Three hosts, of course, USA, Canada and Mexico. Where are Scotland going to end up? Well, you will find out live with us on the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Also today, we've had the first pre-match media conference from the new Celtic head coach. Is he head coach? Is he manager? Do you care? Probably not. Wilfried Nancy talking about his version of a winning mentality.
Yes, before I came here, I knew that the demand is high, and I knew that everybody talk about winning. But we know that I like to say that I don't know a competitor who likes to lose. So win, yes, we want to win, but how are we going to do it? And when we lose, what does it mean? This is the end of the world? No, maybe sometimes you have to lose to get better. Because sometimes when you win, yes, in the moment it could be good, but maybe this is not exactly what we need to do to be consistent. So again, I think that this is not about winning or losing. I know that if I don't do a good job, maybe after 5 games or 10 games, it's going to be like that. Carlo Ancelotti is one of the most titled coaches, and he's been fired. So I don't have an issue with that because this is part of our job. My job is to be clear, to maximize our chance to win, and to find a way to be consistent. And obviously the outcome is to win trophies. But the outcome, I cannot control that. I control what we do every day on the pitch, on the pitch, on the pitch, on the pitch.
He's a smart guy, and he will have done all sorts of preparation. He's talked about the hours and maybe days of videos of Celtic games that he's watched so far. But in a certain sense, Peter, are you ever ready for one of the top managerial jobs in Glasgow? Do you ever really know about the intensity and about the demand, the insatiable demand for winning?
No, I don't think anybody is, Rob, because I think Barry will agree with me. When people ask us about Celtic Rangers matches, I always think it's very, very difficult. I mean, I played in 45 or something like that. I could never explain anybody what it's like. I was as nervous in the first as I was in the last one, and it didn't matter how well you were playing prior to it or how poorly you were playing prior to it. There was always an opportunity you could win the game. So that was playing against Celtic and Rangers. I think the biggest thing is you'll learn very quickly, and he knows that competitors, yeah, you have to win, and that's what competitors want to do all the time. But at Celtic and Rangers, it's not you have to all the time. You win a treble, you've got it for 6 weeks. You've got to go again 6 weeks later, and that is a consistent. Other clubs get away with it, but doing it once in a blue moon. You'd Manchester United before Sir Alex went, how many years? You'd Liverpool nearly 30 years. Celtic and Rangers 1 year without it, it's catastrophic. And I don't think you realise that till you're in the building. You can look from afar and you can expect that, and you can see everything's wrote. Everything in the newspapers, television about Scottish football, it's Celtic and Rangers. Whether it's good, bad or indifferent, that's the expectation. The press are always want to talk to you. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is the constant, it's guaranteed. That was what it was like as a player. I can only imagine what it's like as a manager.
Is Danny Röhl finding out, Barry, over the last 6-7 weeks, however long it is he's been in position? Do you get the feeling, looking at him, listening to him, that it's much more than even he thought it was going to be?
Yeah, I think, I'm sure that it's took him be a bit of surprise. He would have heard and would have spoke to people, but until you're actually here and understand it's 24/7, the expectations and the demands are huge. And now he's finding out with a couple of draws over the last 4 or 5 days. Some of the fans not too happy about it. That's just, I'm afraid that's the nature of the beast when you're at Rangers. But I think he fully understands, and when you hear him speak, he gets it. He knows that he's here to win games. Look, it's impossible to win every single game, but when you do suffer a bad result, it has to look in a certain way, in my opinion. You can't get run over the top of, you can't get beat physically, or the team you're playing against runs harder than you. That's impossible to happen. But I do firmly believe he started reasonably well. You've got to remember, it's not his squad. He inherited this team, and I'm sure he's looking forward to January, so he can add some players that he think it can strengthen the team.
Could I ask Barry, Rob, you've been the player and the manager. I've been the player and the coach, and obviously that's not the manager. You've been the manager. What was the big difference, for being the player?
Peter, I was just going to ask that question. We're on the same. I don't want to worry you. I don't want to worry you.
I'll give you the biggest difference. You can't affect it outside of the pitch.
Yeah.
You can affect it when you're on the pitch. If you're the captain or you're the leader, you can do something about it. See, if you're not having a good game, then you can make sure the guys running about you are doing at the side of the pitch. You know what it's like, the noise levels at times. You're itching just to run on the pitch at stages.
Well, even off the pitch in the preparation, I'm talking about, see the hours, getting to it. As a player, you know what it's like, and you're worrying about yourself and your own performance, for sure. As a manager, you're worrying about everybody's performance and the team's result. You're talking to the press the next day with the right things to say, what I've got to say. All these things are in your head.
Preparation, you've just got to be spot on. You've got to trust the coaches that you've got in with you as well, and you go through it before you actually put it forward to the team and what you're going to go with and the tactics and the formation. You need to make sure everything's spot on, and you go over it and over it, and the information you've got to make sure it's spot on, because I don't like players at times can use excuses.
But when you go to bed at night, you never had Billy and you never had Neil with you. So you're going to bed at night and you're thinking to yourself,
I knew the team.
I'm saying in your head, it always drops on the manager. That's the point I'm making.
Yep. And I like that responsibility, Peter, but I knew what formation and what personnel I was going with. At the end of the day, it's my decision.
Absolutely.
And you know what? That's why I had them in with me, because they challenged me. I like to be challenged, but at the end of the day, I've got to go with what I feel's right. And you know what? See, as a coaching staff, they were brilliant. They're like, right, you know what, Gaffer, we're going with you. And then we would then go and work out a game plan what was the opposition's weaknesses and strengths and whatever. But at the end of the day, it falls on.
Did you get a lot of sleep?
No, I didn't. But do you know what? I wouldn't change it.
No,
I honestly loved it. I woke up every morning, bang on 10 to 6, just with the excitement. Even through the few bumps that we had, I still love getting up, getting in the car and getting into that training ground. Because you know what? When you had a bump, I was even more determined to put it right. And I loved it. That lack of sleep, you know what? You just deal with it.
Did you sleep well as a player? Pre-match?
Okay.
Was that different? Was it different because there's so much more on your head?
Yeah, because you've got full responsibility.
Yeah.
But again, as weird as it might sound, I actually enjoyed it. Having that responsibility, because you've got not get the responsibility just to get a result. You've got the players, you've got the staff, you've got the supporters. Not just in the stadium. You've got to remember the supporters are all over the world watching the game. So you've got a responsibility and a duty to go and try and get a result, and the pressure falls on one guy, in my opinion, and that's the manager.
When you look at the Rangers team at the moment, let's say the best Rangers team that there is available to Danny Röhl at the moment, and there would be all sorts of question marks about what the best team maybe is, maybe question marks for him as well. How many of those first 11 would you be keeping? And the other side of that coin would be, how many of those positions are you wanting to improve as quickly as possible?
How long's a piece of string? It's a tough one. Do you know what? There's good players in there, and I've worked with some of the players, but there's no doubt they need help. They need better players in amongst them. And it all comes down to one thing. The most important thing, in my opinion, at a football club is recruitment. And do you know what? You're never ever going to get the recruitment spot on. You're never granted. If you go and sign 10 players, they 10 players are never going to be A+. You're always going to have one or two that might not work. But in my opinion, Rangers over the years have had a low percentage in terms of
in recent years.
Yeah.
I think
and there's been a lot of money.
I think central defence, if Rangers done that, I think you would see better players in front of it. But if you know what I'm trying to say there, because I think central defence, I'm not sure.
I mean, you've been a coach and a manager, granted. In my honest opinion, first I always look right through the middle of the spine. The spine has got to be rock solid, and then you can work round about that.
I agree.
Would you change half the team? Would that be? Is half the team okay?
It depends on the January window. It depends on how much money he gets. I do think he's going to get back. I do think Andrew Kavanagh will try his utmost to back him, but it has to be the right players for Rangers. It can't be just a case of we're going to sign somebody just for the sake of it, and he comes in and it's not really going to work. You need to go and not just think he's a good player. You need to look deep inside. You need to sit down with him. You need to look him in the eye. You need to look into his background. Has he been at previous clubs where he's been under pressure? Because do you know what? He'll not feel pressure like you do at Rangers. So there's a lot of things that the Rangers need to correct, and I do believe they will correct him going forward.
Can Rangers still win the title?
Yeah, you can never give in. You can never.
How good does the window have to be for Rangers to win the title? Does this have to be one of their best ever transfer window performances to turn this around?
They need to bring in 3 or 4, I believe, to, as I said previous, they need to be coming into the starting 11.
And ready to go.
Yeah, you've got to be. And do you know what? I know Granty says it's tough. There is going to be players out there. There is players that are going to be getting into the final 6 months of their contract. There is players that are going to be maybe out the picture at their current club. But then you go back to, are they going to be fit enough to come straight in? They've not had a lot of games. So these are a lot of things that you've got to consider. But I do think Rangers do need to go and bring in that 3 or 4 players to strengthen them and help the current group.
Yeah. Maybe it was you, Peter, that said earlier it needs to be a brilliant transfer window for Rangers. Maybe it was it you that said that earlier? And maybe
many points are Rangers behind Hearts and Celtic.
9.
They've crawled that back in well, but I still don't think it's going to be enough, because I think the other 2 will get stronger as well. And Barry's right, and it's who has the best window. Barry touched on it earlier on. Who has the best window? Who keeps their players fit? It's always massive. If Hearts bring maybe one or two in, but they end up getting a couple of injuries, they could struggle. You know, same with Celtic. Are they going to get a centre forward? Is any actual going to be fit? But he came in without a pre-season, and now he's injured for a few weeks. So you've got Johnny Kenny, what I would say is a recognised striker, because I still don't see Maida, even though he's scored in the last couple of weeks, I still don't see him as a number 9. You know, and that is a big area, because you'll always need to score goals. Because I thought Miovski would have been a good signing for Rangers.
Yep.
It just shows you when you've not played games of football how difficult it becomes.
Is it also about the environment you're coming into as well?
Absolutely, 100%. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about players now, but that's the similar we're talking about managers. If I asked you Wilfried Nancy's last few games, what was his results? You wouldn't know.
No.
But if you ask somebody in America about Celtic's results or Rangers results, somebody would be able to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the difference, because it is worldwide in that respect. People watch all over the world. We see it week in, week out with the supporters when they're online and all these sort of things, talk about the games and where they're watching them. And that is different. And that's the same for the players. And some players can't handle it. And it doesn't matter, Rob. It's a different vibe completely playing for Celtic or Rangers, because it is 24/7 walking down the street. And you've got to be able to handle that, good, bad, or in different times. And see, when it's tough, you've got to be able to put that working jacket on. And some of them have not been able to handle that. And unfortunately, that's the pressure that goes with it if you're wanting to be a team, and if you're wanting to be in a team that's wanting to win trophies, because it's hard work to win trophies. And that's why Celtic doing it for so long has been incredible, actually. But they should never get sick of it. And that's the thing that keeps pushing you on. And I think that's, at this moment in time, that's where I see the difference. I see they win games when they're not playing well. The other teams don't seem to. And I think that can be the fine line.
Rob, see if I'm in that dressing room, this is doable. That's got to be the attitude.
Well, it's only 9 points at the moment.
Yeah, but it's only 9 points. There's still 24 games to go. What's that? 72 points. Tell me my maths right. Is it?
We're just going to give you.
You're just saying aye.
Right, well, I hope it is.
Hope that's not that 4-5-1 you're playing again.
But that's how many points is available and how many games there is to go. Hell of a lot of football still to play. You still get January to come. So, yeah, that's the message. It has to be in that dressing room.
It's going to be some window. And this is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King, and we're getting close to the moment where we will find out, he said very optimistically, and hopefully, because the preamble's still going on, we're going to find out soon who Scotland have got in their group for the World Cup.
It is.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour, with fries and a drink. Only on the app.
Let's go!
MacLean with Barry Ferguson and Peter Grant in the studio. We're going to be looking ahead to the games. We might not have much time to look ahead to the games the way things are going, because we're keeping one eye very much on Washington D.C, the Kennedy Centre, and that is where the draw is happening. There's been plenty of entertainment. There's been plenty of chat. There hasn't been much action in terms of putting teams in groups, apart from the top seeds who've gone into their groups. So when Scotland come out, we will know very quickly who game number 1 is going to be against. I think it's 1 versus 2 in all the groups. So that's maybe the first fixture. I could be making that up, to be perfectly honest. But our eyes are on it. So if your eye can't be on it at the moment, if you're on the move or you don't have access to a television at the moment, then we will let you know the millisecond it happens in the American capital. It is Rio Ferdinand who looks to be master of ceremonies, Peter, in Washington at the moment.
Yeah, interesting that. I think Rio's moved out to live in Dubai now. You know, so I don't know. Listen, I don't know which connection is with this. I suppose England won it in 1966. You know what I mean? So that's probably the reason why he's out there.
Yeah,
you know, it's coming home again. Maybe.
I'll tell you right now, they're no winning the World Cup.
No. Well, that's good. That's good. We can start.
I
from
think
that
this
point.
is their biggest chance. Because they've got a coach, it's picking the players that he thinks right. He's not picking 10 players because they're the best.
And he's not English. Does that help?
Yeah, I definitely think he said to there's 5 players playing for 3 positions, a number 10 position, and he'll take 3 of them. And he's named the 5 of them, and the 5 of them could all play in any team in the world. And he said, well, he'll take 2 or 3 of them, but 2 will be left at home. He'll not be pushing them to outside right or outside left. And I think that's what England have done so many times before. That's how I'm a wee bit worried they could win it this time.
Is it third time lucky, do you think, not lucky's not the word, Barry, for Scotland having failed to turn up to a certain degree in the 2 Euros that we've qualified? Is this the one?
Yeah, I think that's something that the manager and the players will be determined to sort, as you mentioned, Rob.
All right, the draw's happening.
Yeah, in Germany. Germany just wasn't good enough, was it? So
right.
Here we go.
Brazil have come out. So is that Brazil?
Yeah, they're getting into the group, the pots, the top ones. This is the rest of the
sorry,
four home nations were drawn.
Gotcha.
The ones that were
right.
So come on, Rob, you put me off here.
Sorry, Paul. What were you? It was a really good answer. What were you saying?
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was so good. We've lost all notion of what Barry was talking about. Yeah, no, we were talking about will Scotland turn up for this one?
I think if you ask Stevie Clarke and you ask the players, they'll be bitterly disappointed. Certainly with the Germany way in the Euros, how we.
And the final game as well, because it was a bit of a damp squib.
It was, and it was poor. But no, I think we'll go over there and we'll acquit ourselves really well. There you go. I do believe that.
Yeah, hope so.
And do you know what? See, if you look at for qualifying, were we great? No, we weren't. But do you know what? We're finding a way to win, which is important. When you don't play at the levels, you find a way to win games, and that's what Scotland have done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this campaign's been incredible. The qualifying campaign has been incredible because how many 90 minutes did Scotland put together in terms of that qualifying campaign?
That's why I've put money on that we won it. We've been that bad performance-wise, and we've still got there because we're usually the opposite. We've done really well and then not qualified, with a bit of bad luck or whatever. But I'm saying it was like Ali MacLeod when he used to say when they were going to Argentina the on time, we're going to bring it back and then I'm going to win it again, retain it. It was fantastic. I'm looking at these groups now, and as a player sitting there getting an opportunity, you must be so excited at even watching the draw,
amazing,
having a chance. And I think you'll see players getting a spark, Rob, in their league. In their leagues, because they want to go out there and they want to show the manager, who's Steve Clarke with Scotland. We're talking about the Scotland boys. I want to be in that squad. So excited about going to all these countries to play against the best, and the one that's viewed the best in the world. Is football. There is no doubt against that. I mean, you're seeing all these super names up there. What an opportunity. And I think you'll see performance in certain players rising. Just that excitement.
I mean, we're talking about this big game on Sunday, Celtic against Hearts. What a moment for Lawrence Shankland on the back of the draw to send out a message to say, I'm your man for goals in the summer.
Yeah, listen, you know what I think about Lawrence Shankland. I think he's a top player, Rob. I think he's been excellent this season, even off the boil last year. But I think that was to do with his contract, and he wasn't sure if he was going to move or if he was going to stay with Hearts. But no, Lawrence Shankland for me he's a given. He's
into double figures already this season, so he's gone past his total.
His goal against
season.
Denmark, everybody goes on, rightly so, about McTominay's and Tierney's and MacLean's. That's a proper goal.
That's a striker's goal, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's instinctive.
Yeah.
And that's what Lawrence Shankland is.
And his finish against Kilmarnock the other night?
Yep.
Lovely little dink over the goalkeeper.
But that's what
composure.
As Barry says, his role changed last year, and people forget that. I talk about Lewis Ferguson when he was at Aberdeen. His last season, Celtic or Rangers should have signed him. But he played in that deeper role at Aberdeen that particular year, and it didn't work for him because of the team. And I think he was more aggressive when he runs in the box and plays like a central midfield player. And I think people probably looked at that. For Celtic or Rangers, for me, was a no-brainer. I'm not saying he'd have selected him once the Italians come in, but Celtic at Rangers should be knocking the door down saying we'll take him. And then you see the best from him. Now he's going to be a mainstay in the group, God willing, he stays clear of his injury. So these are the wee sort of things. These guys that's all champing. Billy Gilmour's got an operation now. He's champed at the bit to get back and try and get in the Napoli team so he can get selected for Scotland. I know he's done really well for Scotland and he's probably the one that handles the ball the best. But you've got to see how long has he been out, because that selection process, and it's all these things that come into play for players. And players may get a chance. Lawrence Shankland, as you say, he could become your starter.
Yep.
And then another one, the big one, is the goalkeeping situation. Craig Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mistake for the Hearts goalkeeper for Kilmarnock's equaliser.
He could be back in, couldn't he?
Does Craig Gordon slip in? Because I tell you what, man, he played the 2 games and it looked as if he'd been playing all season.
I know.
I thought he was brilliant.
Maybe he doesn't need to play club games.
Yeah, just keep him rested. But no, I think if you ask Craig Gordon, he would want to. You want to play games. You want to keep your foot in there. And this might now be the opportunity, because there was a bit of talk about maybe going out on loan.
Yes.
Maybe this is the opportunity for him to. He come back in on Sunday,
and you kind of back him, don't you? If he gets back in, that could be it. You know, I think Svolov has done really well for them this season. I mean, he's looked really, really solid, but that was a glaring error the other night.
Yeah, listen, the goalkeeper deserves to stay in, to be perfectly honest with you. But Craig Gordon has done absolutely nothing wrong with his performance. His injury takes him out, and Swallow's done exactly what you do when you get an opportunity. I'm in, I want to stay in, I want to make saves. The team's been doing exceptionally well, and it had been easy for me for Derek to change that right away because Craig Gordon's such a good goalkeeper. But he stuck by that, and I think Swallow will play at the weekend. But Craig has done more than enough with Scotland. He'll definitely be in the squad for going to the World Cup if he's fit.
See if he doesn't play,
I still think he would play him.
Aye, you've got to play him. You've got to play him. I thought against Greece and Denmark he was excellent.
Would Angus Gunn come back into contention if he?
But Angus is not playing either.
I know.
No, for me, Craig Gordon has to play.
Yeah,
because Angus done exceptionally well, and I was delighted for him because I thought he got unfair criticism, and I thought he'd done exceptionally well in the Scotland games. But as you say, he's not playing. It's different about you asking a different question. If he was a number one and playing matches, I'd be saying he would stay in. But if Craig's not playing and Angus is not playing,
would you have him in the squad? Would you have Angus Gunn in the squad?
100%. It's Scotland. Craig Gordon's Scotland's best two goalkeepers.
How many goalies will be in the squad? Is it 3 or 4?
I think he'll take 3. I'm not sure they take 4.
Liam Kelly.
They maybe take 4, all the same because he maybe train or whatever. But I think it'll be 3.
Craig Gordon, Liam Kelly, and another.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's up for debate who plays in. And between the sticks.
No,
I really don't.
Well, not off the back of those 2 games.
Yeah, I really don't. And my only concern is with his age. He got a bit rusty. He needs to play. But for me,
he just needs a nap midway through the second half. That's all, and he's fine.
No, but as you say, I would definitely have Angus Gunn in him, and then it's up to whoever else is going to fight. If they're both fit, both of them would go, because I think they're Scotland's best 2 goalkeepers in my eyes. And then the third choice. Listen, it depends. Bain's doing exceptionally well, and in playing, that's where Liam Kelly could miss out, because Bain's playing, and if he keeps playing as well as he's been doing, he could become the number 3 because he's playing matches. That's slightly different, because would he take 3 it's not playing? There's a completely different question.
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation, that is for certain. We're just looking at some video of the Pot 2 teams at the moment with all the Pot 1 teams. If you're wondering what we're talking about, this was the World Cup draw in Washington. We're about to find out which of the Pot 2 teams are going where in terms of the Pot 1 teams all allocated. Firstly, it was the 3 home nations, and now all the rest have been put into groups as well. There's not really much point in telling you which groups they're in until other teams are added, and it becomes a bit more significant at that point. But we want to know who Scotland are going to be grouped with, and we also want to know where they're going to be playing. Are they, Peter, going to be playing at altitude potentially?
That's a difficulty. That is hard. There is no getting away from that. Ideally, I think you would like to be in America. That's the ideal scenario, because I'm led to believe if you're drawn in there, that's where you stay. You're not going from America to Mexico.
Don't think so.
All that. I don't think so. No. So I think you'd rather be in America. That'd be the ideal draw.
Right, well, here we go. We've got all the Pot 1 teams allocated in the groups, so there'll be another lengthy explanation to come before we get any action here, probably. But we're talking about Croatia, Morocco, Colombia, Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal. What's that next one? Iran, Korea, Ecuador, Austria, and Australia. So those are the Pot 2 teams. And I guess we're looking at that, aren't we, Barry, and thinking, wonder which one of those we would fancy. Scotland are, of course, in the
Austria.
next spot. Austria, yeah.
I'll go Austria.
Rather than Australia? Think Martin Boyle could come back to haunt us?
Yeah, but it's a good shout, Rob. Out of that series of teams, I would Austria or Australia.
You're not having Iran, Peter, anyway.
No, I seen them play, Robin. I was thinking they're big, strong, quick. When you're thinking they just look so physical. I was really surprised how good they were, and technically they weren't the worst. And it's our worst nightmare. We've had that before, Iran, haven't we? So
indeed, I know. Don't replay that movie.
Don't replay that, because that's all we're going to see.
Talking about not sleeping at night. So Korea are in Group A with Mexico. That's the first group that's got 2 names in it now. So Mexico, who will play the first match of the tournament, and Korea. Into Group B have come Switzerland. So Switzerland, along with Canada and Switzerland, and Alistair Johnston, of course, will be planning to be part of that Canadian squad.
Derek Cornelius as well.
Derek Cornelius, yep, absolutely. A current part of that Canadian team. So Canada and Switzerland. Next group, pot 2 team about to be drawn. They're not going to get done for speeding.
I think it's Morocco, Rob, to be fair, because I've looked at the Morocco manager there from right, and I think it could be Brazil and Morocco there.
Spot on, Peter.
Hey.
What are you like?
I'm just looking at the manager.
Let's be honest, I'm just interested in Scotland.
Okay.
I'm not interested in who gets who. I just want to see who.
All right.
Well, there's a start.
Can you hang on for a wee bit?
No, I'm getting a bit.
That's probably the one I wouldn't want to get into. Brazil, but just seeing that right away, I'd take the first 2 groups before that, Brazil, Morocco, because they're 2 not bad sides.
So Australia next out of the hat of the pot 2 teams. The Socceroos have twice reached the knockout stages in their 6 times at World Cups. That was in 2006 and 2022 when Australia got to the knockout phase of the competition.
Oh, I take Group D.
Oz will be delighted with that, won't he? He'll be delighted with that. America.
Scotland will be Australia.
He'll be delighted with that.
And USA.
Been in the USA, that's what I'm saying. He'd be delighted.
Pochettino, he's still the manager there?
Yes, he is.
Yep.
So Australia and USA in the same group. Ecuador are out next.
Germany.
In the same group as Germany. Yep, well done. So Germany, the pot 1 team. Ecuador from pot 2 into Group E. Well, you can almost reach out and touch the tension in the studio, but we'll get really excited when it comes around to pot 3.
Let's go to the games on Saturday, Rob.
Yeah, but it's just a question of timing it, right, Barry? So we're back in.
Listen, you're the professional.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Right, Japan drawn in the same group as the Netherlands. That's Group F. So Daisen Maeda will be part of that.
Don't want in that group.
Squad. Is Rio Itate currently in the?
No, he's not.
No,
he has not. But the way he's playing,
I was just about to say that. You've been,
the way he's playing. Yeah, the way he's playing. Barry's been excellent, actually.
I've heard.
Oh, really good.
Because he was off the boil a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, listen, I always think as a midfield player, you know yourself, if the front line's chopping and changing all the time, people were being a bit more safer with their passing it back and slow. There wasn't the right movement, and I think that hindered him a little bit. But the game being quickened up, the heading through the middle for him, a wee bit more directness in the wings. I think he's been able to pass forward quicker. Some of his passing the first half the other evening there was excellent. That's your team come out of the hat, the Islamic Republic of Iran, into the same group as Belgium, Peter. Unlucky Belgium. Yeah. Will Nico Raskan be part of that squad?
He starts every game. I think if you ask Nico about his form, Rob, this season, he'll be disappointed. He'll want to perform a bit better. Obviously, that's a tough start to the season because remember he was totally out the equation. But look, we see when you've got Nico playing in the right position and Nico firing. Nico Raskin's a very good footballer. Uruguay in with Spain in Group H. Do you think his head was Senegal next out? Do you think his head was scrambled at one point? Do you think his head's been scrambled by what's happened this season, Raskan? Yeah, a bit, because you've got to remember he's still a young player. But listen, he's firmly focused. It was interesting to see actually a couple of days ago that Rangers have took an option on him. Right. I think his contract's until 2027, I think. Right. Or 2028, sorry. So he's still got another 2.5 years left his contract. Senegal are in with France in Group I. I'd be like home for home because a lot of Senegal players play in France. Yeah. And obviously French. Some of them swapped their country as well. You know, Senegalese boys have steady playing for France or not been selected for France, play for Senegal. Yeah. Next, we're into Group J, and Austria have gone in there alongside Argentina. I think we could get in that group. It might just be teams beginning with A, though, in that one. We'll have to see. That's not bad for you, but I just got that there.
Bring back Paul.
We used to all try to work out what 24 games was in points.
So I definitely got it 72.
Yeah, well done. You were thinking 74, but you said 72, so that was good. Yep.
I looked at Granny and he's
I just looked away.
Okay, so Portugal are joined by Colombia in Group K. So Croatia are going to be the last team out of the pot 2 teams. And now is the point where we certainly don't do the Premiership preview for the weekend, because we're about to get into the pot which includes the name of Scotland. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back with who Scotland face at the World Cup.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Enjoy the £5.99 regular Whopper meal. Juicier than ever and bursting with flavour, with fries and a drink. Only on the app.
Let's go!
Meantime, back at the World Cup draw in Washington, D.C. We're on to pot 3. And Barry, it's getting exciting.
It is getting exciting because the simple fact is Scotland's about to come out, hopefully. Some interesting groups here, Rob. There's a couple of groups I wouldn't mind being in. Yep. Group B.
Australia and USA, that one?
Yeah, that would be probably my first pick, and then I would go Group B.
Mexico and Korea, Group A? No? Anyone for that? South Africa are first out of the pot 2 teams.
What would you go for? Group A?
Yeah.
Can't now.
South Africa. No. Can you not put 2 pot 3 teams in that one? No.
You still get me mixed up now.
Right.
No, you can't.
Okay. So South Africa into Group A with Mexico and Korea.
I wouldn't mind this one coming up.
Okay.
Group B.
Would you?
So Group B is Canada and Switzerland. Will it also have Scotland? We shall see. The draw is just happening. The ball is being taken out. We're about to get the name held up. It's Qatar. So Qatar.
Yeah, they're out.
Into Group B with Canada and Switzerland.
I'm all wind up. Our good friend Dr. McGuinness is the national team doctor there.
Yeah, they've done fantastic, you sure, because this last minute goal.
So that's 2 teams out of the pot 3 teams. Just seeing confirmation with the graphic on screen. The Qatar into Group B.
Don't want this one.
Who's going to go into Group C? We have Brazil and Morocco, and now Paraguay into Group C at the World Cup draw. So we've avoided Brazil.
Hey man, Morocco, that was a big one. Missing that
That's
one.
a tough group, I grant it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So this is we don't mind D, I don't think, because that's Australia and USA.
Yeah, especially Big Oz. That'd be brilliant.
Well, there's a bit of an explanation going on at the moment, but no. So Paraguay have gone into that one. Paraguay into Group D.
Why is that?
Because of some qualification they were saying there.
Yeah, there's some reason that we don't know that they went into that.
Well, Donald Trump said he wanted them in his group.
Well, was that what he was talking about earlier on?
I'll make their draw
we
myself.
glazed over. Group E next. Who's going into Group E?
That maybe go back to C now.
Ivory Coast are into E with Germany and Ecuador. Germany, Ecuador and Ivory Coast. That is 3 out of 4 in Group E so far. Draw for the 2026 World Cup finals. How exciting is it that we're awaiting the name of Scotland coming out? It's been a long, long time, best part of 30 years since we've had this feeling.
This is one. Netherlands and Japan. You don't want this one.
Netherlands, Japan and Tunisia. Okay.
You know what's happening.
We're going to be last, aren't we?
No, you know what's happening, Rob.
Oh no.
Iran.
Oh yeah. Peter's worst fears are about to be realised. So Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia. That was Group F. Not quite completed, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And next It is Egypt. So they're dragging this one out in terms of Scotland coming out of that hat. I hope we're in there somewhere. But it's
You
Egypt.
should be qualified. Huh?
I'm pretty sure, unless there was a recount. So that's Egypt finding out their fate, and all sorts of delegates looking on from the deer seats and working out immediately what the plans will be to not just the dates of these fixtures, but the timings as well. There's 4 different kickoff times, I think, across the group stage of the tournament. Scotland will play Spain.
Spain and Uruguay.
And Uruguay. Scotland, Spain.
No.
Oh,
No.
God.
Into Group
Oh,
C.
my God.
How did that happen? Scotland
That's
will
it.
play Brazil and Morocco.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. That is one of the toughest.
Stevie was laughing at first till we get swapped.
Yeah.
You can see the drop in his face there. I said to you, that's a group you didn't
Yeah.
want to be in, because they're 2 good sides. Obviously.
How did that happen? Saudi Arabia are out next, but we're still stunned. We're still lost for words, I think, off the back of it's going to be Scotland against Brazil, as it was in 1998. And Morocco are going to be pretty tough group mates as well for Scotland. So just one space to be filled in terms of that Group C. Brazil, Morocco, Scotland. At next summer's World Cup, Algeria are out in pot 2. Of course, yeah, it was with Brazil and Morocco in 1998.
Did we?
Yeah, that was the last. That was the game we got cuffed 3-0 in the final group game. Craig Burley got sent
right,
off, having
correct.
scored against Norway in match day 2. So that is absolutely incredible that it's all being rerun again from 27 years ago.
They've got some players as well, Morocco. Forget Brazil. Morocco have got some really good players individually.
Hamza Egerman's won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scotland, of course, lost to Brazil 2-1 in 1998. There was that wonderful moment where we were 1-1 and we wanted to freeze the scoreboard when John Collins scored the penalty and equalised. And then there was the draw with Norway in Bordeaux, followed by that
Were you there,
thumping-
Rob?
I was, yeah. Fantastic experience, and at the time,
There again. Next summer.
I'll be doing my best.
James says he's flying his over, Baz, so
Yeah.
we're doing all right.
Yeah.
James says, James the producer says quite a lot of things.
The Go Radio shuttle will be taking us across. We've lost a little bit of interest in the rest of this bit because we're still working over in our minds how tough that is for Scotland. The answer, very tough so far. We have Brazil and Morocco to try to get the better of next summer. England, meantime, Croatia already, and now Panama. So Croatia and Panama.
I think they choose it themselves.
Yeah.
Every time, it's always the same.
Is that like a free pass?
Always the same.
Yeah. Well, they swanned it through qualifying. At least we haven't got Norway as well as Brazil and Morocco, because they were in the same group of.
They maybe get through into
There might be a special rule that puts them into our group, so it's the same as 98. But 2 of the teams are the same for Scotland: France, Senegal, and Norway in Group I for the World Cup finals. Who's your winner, Barry, of the World Cup? Do you think who would be the strongest bet at the moment?
I'm going to go Argentina.
Right. Peter?
Hate to say it.
No.
My worst nightmare.
Listen, I've got a button here I've got the ejector seat button here that I can
just
press
think
if.
Kane's such a wonderful goal scorer, and I just think this manager's slightly different. He picks a team for the best team to win tournaments.
You think so, Granny?
I think the other managers picked the best players
and tried to work them in.
Yeah. I think that's what they've done. That's
honestly,
my worry.
I couldn't think of
I think
anything
worse.
No,
you're not kidding.
Apart from getting beat off Celtic, England winning the World Cup.
We should say that the News at 6 might be a little bit delayed because we will stay with you. The News at 7 even. The News at 6. The News at 6 is probably delayed as well.
But American time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's probably about 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning. The News at 7 will be slightly delayed because we will hang on to find out the name of the team which completes that Scotland group. Brazil, Morocco and Scotland so far. Tough.
I've got a funny feeling that one we'll get is one of these ones that's still not played yet, so we'll not know who it is. A ball that, like they
from the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it'll be something like that.
I tell you, there's some good teams in there. Italy are in there. Denmark are in there
again. Yeah.
How do you pronounce the one that Dick Advocate's the manager of? Carricow.
The C word.
Yeah. Is it?
I think that's right.
I think you're right, Baz. I think you're right.
Curacao. All right, James.
James, well done, James.
That was producer James there with some linguistics.
I was the other day. I was watching a bit on them. A population, I think, just over 150,000. Rob, did you see the island?
No.
It was pristine.
Do you think we should go there for a fact-finding trip?
Yeah, we should.
Well, Barry can go. I'm sure he knows Dick. You know what I mean? So
Dick will sort you out with accommodation.
He's over there.
Yeah, I'm sure he would fly us over.
Yeah. He must have another few jobs in him.
Unbelievable the amount of jobs. Listen, still going at that age, but he was a brilliant manager, brilliant coach.
Peter, are we excited or are we excited?
I'm really excited.
Are we disappointed in any
not
way?
At all.
Because it's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it?
I think if you're in a group and it's already done, you've got to look forward to it now.
Are we better against the better teams?
I always feel Scotland always produce like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it was big disappointment in Germany when we drew Germany, and I thought we were like lambs to the slaughter. Really, I thought really poor. We were negative in everything we'd done. I thought we were going out there not to be beat. And that's exactly, and you're giving the likes of Tony Cruz and that so much time in the ball. And I think we didn't play our best players in the positions that suited them, the likes of the John McGinns and Scott McTominay were more worried about defending. And once you allow them to have that freedom to show their strengths, I think they become better players. Yeah. And I think, listen, once you've got the draw now, Morocco's really hard. I know a lot of people not know them, but then you'll start to know the individuals. And people say, they're a good side. Everybody knows about Brazil. It's interesting, but I'm looking at the way the group is. Scotland's at the bottom of it, on it, the drawing here. Would it go Brazil-Scotland the first game? Morocco versus the one that's still to be drawn yet? I'm not sure how that's going to work. Would that be your first group match? Or would it be the one that comes out next will be Scotland's first group match? Because that could be the saving grace. Because I always feel it's important that you get a victory in your first game.
Someone on stage has just said Scotland are in a tough group. Yeah.
That was Stevie Clarke.
Yes, fair point. So so this is one of the playoff sections, which includes Denmark, North Macedonia, the Czech Republic, and the Republic of Ireland. So basically, this is going to be one from 4 of those, and that goes into Group A. So those 4 teams I mentioned are into Group A, headed by hosts Mexico. But what we want to know is, will we Dundee versus Aberdeen? Will we do the? No, let's not. So it's another playoff grouping here. Including Italy. We were talking about Italy being in those playoff sections, Northern Ireland, Wales, Bosnia, Herzegovina, all grouped together in one of the playoffs. So one of those teams is going to make it to the World Cup finals. Which group are they going to go in? That one's gone into Group B, so that's the group headed by Canada. So Italy, maybe. Well, I imagine they would be favourites to come through.
Well, if you're Wales, Rob, you'd be delighted with that.
Yeah.
If they manage, because I think they end up getting Italy at home. If they win their games, Wales end up getting Italy and Wales, and if they qualify, I think that'd be the best group they could possibly ask for.
Here's Haiti out of the hat. And Haiti, I was just hesitating there because you're never totally sure. Haiti go into Scotland's group, so it's Brazil, Morocco and Haiti who will face Stevie Clarke and company at the World Cup next summer.
Is that the Zaire?
Let's hope not.
That could be the Zaire.
Yeah. So, what about the draw then? We're not really too bothered about what happens elsewhere. As far as Scotland are concerned, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti for Scotland.
I'd be delighted if it was Haiti the first game, and that, I think that gives us a chance. Any of the other two, I think we could have a problem, because I think the other two are very good sides. I think if you get Haiti and you get 3 points, brilliant, because something's got to give in the other game, obviously. So I think that's the best we could hope for out of that. But it's a real tough draw, especially Morocco and Brazil.
Barry?
Yeah, listen, Brazil, Morocco, very good teams. Haiti, you would expect, I don't know too much about them, but you would expect to get 3 points here. But look, listen, see, the magic thing is we're in a draw. The draw's been announced, and I can't wait to next summer to see how we put our wits against these teams. Yep,
sounds like another place we should go to check them out, actually.
Yeah, that'd be a not bad trip.
And on their home soil or sand, maybe.
Yep, I prefer the sand.
Exactly. So there we have it. Thanks to Barry, thanks to Peter as well. It's been an interesting show. It's been action-packed, that's for sure. And the big news is Scotland have found out their fate for next summer's World Cup finals. It will be Brazil, Morocco and Haiti.
The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.